This video is a follow-up to the camera animation with BlendTree video that I posted. If you haven't seen that video, there's a link to it in the description, as well as a link to the Unity forum thread where all the discussion about this is taking place. So after the first video got posted to the Unity forums, it was asked how this system can be modified to use Unity UI to drive the BlendTree animation rather than the keyboard input that I was using. So I'm going to hop into the script right now and start making those modifications. This script is exactly as it's available in the download. So all we need to do is take the update loop here and encapsulate this out to methods for entering and exiting this blend. So I'm going to set up two methods here that are going to be public. So we're going to do public void enter dive and public void exit dive. Now our first block here, where we're checking to see if the spacebar was pressed, we're going to take that entire control block and put it into enter dive. We'll do the same with this block inside of our, is the spacebar up. Take that and put it into exit dive. This is a really good method of encapsulation, and I probably should have done this in the first video. But right now, if you wanted to, you could maintain the exact same behavior by adding enter dive and exit dive into these control blocks, or these conditional blocks inside of the update loop. But for this to utilize the Unity UI system, we don't need the update loop at all. So I'll just delete that completely from this script. We'll save that and move back to the Unity editor. So now we've got our camera dive handler updated, but we need a way to access that. So I'm going to add a new UI button to our scene. Just move that a little bit below center. And for clarity, I'm going to change the text on the button to say dive. And now we're ready to start setting up those methods to be called. Now with UI buttons, we have this on-click event. But what that's going to require is for the user to push down on the button and release the button, then the on-click gets fired. We want those two events to actually be called separately rather than waiting for both to happen for the behavior to take place. So we're going to add a component that is part of the Unity event system called event trigger. We can now add all of the standard UI event handlers. In this case, we want a pointer down event and a pointer up event. So we'll go ahead and add both of those to our event trigger now. For our pointer down, we're going to add a new function to be called, drag our main camera into our game object block, select our dive camera handler, and in this case, enter dive is going to be the method called. And we'll repeat the same process with our pointer up handler, dragging our main camera in, selecting our dive camera handler, and in this case, exit dive. Save our scene, and go into game mode. And when we push down on a button, we start our dive. When we lift up from the button, it'll exit the dive. And if we release in the middle of the dive, it's going to react exactly the same way as it did when we were using the spacebar. Hope that helps make this system a little bit easier to modify.